Emma Carter loved watching people from her top-floor office. From up there, the city looked small, and so did the people. At 38, Emma was the owner of Carter Tech, one of the biggest companies in the city. She had everything, millions in her bank account, 3 luxury cars, and a mansion so big it could fit an entire neighborhood inside. But lately, none of it felt exciting anymore. The money, the cars, the house, it all felt empty. Emma needed something new to keep her entertained. Every morning she noticed the same homeless man sitting near the coffee shop across the street. He never begged for money. Instead, he helped elderly people carry their shopping bags and shared his food with stray dogs. Emma found it strange. In her world, everyone wanted something. But this man? He didn't seem to want anything at all. One morning, as she sipped her coffee, an idea popped into her head. "Perfect," she whispered to herself, a sly smile forming on her lips. Her social media videos had been getting boring, just her showing off her cars, her mansion, her perfect life. But this could be different. She pressed the button on her desk phone. "Linda, remember that homeless man I told you about? Did you give him the job application like I asked?" "Yes, Miss Carter," her assistant replied. "He filled it out yesterday. Actually, he's here now for the interview you scheduled." Emma's smile widened. This was going to be fun. She had planned everything. Pretend to offer him a job, film his reaction, and then show her millions of followers how people like him couldn't handle real work. It would go viral. "Send him in," Emma said, sitting up straighter in her leather chair. The office door opened, and the man walked in slowly. Up close, he looked about 45 years old. His clothes were old but clean, and his hair had streaks of grey. But what caught Emma off guard was the way he carried himself. He didn't look nervous or intimidated. Instead, he walked in like he belonged there. "Welcome," Emma said, gesturing to the chair across from her desk. "You must be James Wilson." James sat down quietly. His hands were rough, like someone who had worked hard all his life. But his eyes, they were sharp, clear and calm. He studied Emma just as carefully as she studied him. "Thank you for this opportunity," he said. His voice was steady, confident. It wasn't what Emma expected. He sounded like someone who had gone to the best schools. "I've been following Carter Tech's work since you started the company." Emma raised an eyebrow. How did a homeless man know about her company's history? She leaned forward, tapping her red nails on the desk. "Mr. Wilson, let's be direct. Why should I give a job to someone who lives on the street?" James met her gaze without flinching. "Because success isn't about where you sleep. It's about what you know and what you can do." For a moment, Emma didn't know what to say. Something about his words made her confidence waver. But she wasn't done yet. She had one more trick up her sleeve. "All right then," she said, sliding her tablet across the desk. "Solve this problem. If you can figure it out, the job is yours." The screen displayed a complex computer problem, one that even her best engineers struggled with. Emma leaned back, waiting for James to look confused or make excuses. But James didn't hesitate. He picked up the tablet like it was an old friend. His fingers moved across the screen with the confidence of an expert. A small smile appeared on his face, not nervous, not unsure, but knowing, like a chess master about to make the winning move. Emma's smile started to fade. For the first time in years, she felt something she hadn't expected: doubt. 10 minutes later, James placed the tablet back on her desk. "There, I fixed the problem. And I added something extra, a way to make your system run twice as fast." Emma grabbed the tablet, her hands trembling slightly. She checked his work once, twice, 3 times. It was perfect. Not just correct. Brilliant. This is impossible," she whispered. How did you know how to do it? James smiled, but there was sadness in his eyes. Maybe we should talk about why you really called me here today. Emma's face grew hot. What do you mean? Miss Carter, I've watched you too. Every morning you arrive in a different expensive car. You film yourself showing off your money. You look down at everyone from this window. His voice wasn't angry, just tired. And now you wanted to make a joke out of me. A social media prank about the homeless man, right? Emma's hand shook as she put the tablet down. How did you know? Because 15 years ago I was just like you. Emma stared at him, speechless. James leaned back in his chair, his eyes distant, lost in memories. I owned a tech company too, bigger than Carter Tech. I had more money than I could spend. Houses, cars, boats, you name it. I thought I was on top of the world. He paused, his voice softening. Then one day, my wife got sick, really sick, and all my money, all my success, none of it could save her. Emma's throat tightened. The hidden camera in her desk, meant to record the prank, suddenly felt like the stupidest idea in the world. After Sarah died, James continued, I looked at my life. Big empty house, no real friends, no purpose except making more money. So I gave it all away, to cancer research, to homeless shelters, to people who needed it. Everyone thought I was crazy. But why live on the street? Emma asked. You could still help people and have a home. James smiled. Living simply taught me what really matters. Helping that old lady cross the street means more than buying another car. Sharing my sandwich with someone hungry feels better than eating at fancy restaurants. Emma looked around her office, her expensive desk, her designer clothes, her perfect life. For the first time, it all felt empty. James leaned forward. I didn't come here for a job. I came here to remind you of something. Real success isn't about showing off, it's about making a difference. Emma sat quietly, his words sinking in. All her followers, all her money, when was the last time she actually helped someone? Over the next year, everything changed. Emma and James worked together to create programs at Carter Tech, free coding classes for homeless people, technology for underfunded schools, apps to connect people in need with those who could help. Emma sold her mansion and bought a smaller house. She stopped making prank videos and started sharing stories of real people doing good things. Her followers didn't drop, they doubled, inspired by the change they saw in her. And every morning, Emma would see James outside the building, helping someone. And every morning she smiled, remembering how a prank turned into the best lesson of her life. And that's the story of how a simple act of kindness can change lives forever. Thank you for listening to FM Tales, where every story has a lesson, and every lesson has the power to inspire. See you in the next tale.